Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Bennett Does Games, the only show on the internet.
Hey, gamers!
Hello, gamers. Today, I am presenting to you World for Two, which is a very interesting game, to say the least. I'm just going to continue. I'm going to make sure not to show you too much of the later game areas or animals, and yeah, so let's get into it. You are this little robot guy, or person, this little robot, and you were created by this man. And your job is to create animals. How do you create animals? Well, you take an amoeba and you slap some genes into it, and ta-da! There we go. A picaya, whatever that is. And yeah, as you can see, there's a bunch of animals that I have unlocked over the course of about 2.5 hours of gameplay. And unfortunately, I've hit kind of a wall, but we'll get to that. So, as you can see, the presentation is fairly charming. The little robot has a nice running animation. If you use the D-pad, it has a nice walking animation. You can't jump or anything. The reflections on the ground are nice, I suppose. And yeah, what do you do in this game? So step one will always be go to the surface, find an animal, harvest DNA, because, yep, ignore that. That's not sad at all. That's totally fine. And you use that DNA in combination with... Oh, no, I didn't mean to kill that anglerfish. Oops. And you collect this nature force, I believe it's called. Nature energy. It's very vague and obscure. Ignore that dragon. You didn't see that. That's a spoiler. Okay. So after you've collected stuff, you collected animal DNA, you collected nature force, you print genes. Let's just print a mollusk gene. There is a little animation associated with it, but thankfully you can skip it, which is really nice considering that after a while it'll get really old considering how many times you're going to print genes. You can also print items, which is pretty much restricted to these star flames. You see those little torch-like thingies on the surface. You pretty much have to insert a star flame of the right color into them, and then they'll gradually generate more nature force for you. There's 2 of them in every biome, and you pretty much just get them as early as you can. So, then if you want to have any form of system to anything, you'll check this tree of animals. So here you can see you always start with an amoeba, which you can get by just fusing 2 primordial genes. And then you can expand upon it, for example, by adding fish DNA to one of those picayas. And then adding fish DNA again turns it into a shark, and then I don't know what to evolve a shark into. Then later you'll unlock ant DNA, not ant DNA, insect DNA. You combine that with an amoeba and you get plankton, and from there you can start creating a couple of insects. The insect tree is by far the most limited if you consider how much sea life and, well, I guess reptiles are also fairly limited, but they all spring from the same frog. And this will be what you do for the majority of the game. So you see here ammonites you get from combining these little cliones. Do you know what that word is?
What?
What is that word?
Oh, they look cute.
It doesn't matter. So if you if you combine a cleone with the shell DNA or carapace DNA, I believe it's called, you get an ammonite, and then you can evolve the ammonite into something else, by which I mean you take the DNA from an animal that you have, let's just say the ammonite, and then you combine it with ancient DNA, which is like my favorite, most nebulous bit of DNA. And that did nothing. Okay. So most combinations in this game will actually yield absolutely nothing, and you better be prepared for that. Some of them are complete nonsense, at least I think so. If you combine a cat with the carnivore DNA, you get a fox that for some reason has a trunk, like a tapir trunk. I don't know, that's a problem with the art, not with the game. And you might be wondering, why am I spending so much time just explaining this? Oh, look, this is a bird, and you give it bird DNA, and you get a crane. Would you look at that? It's fascinating, isn't it? You get an ant, and you give it beetle DNA, and boom, you have a scarab. So now that I have all these animals, they're actually out in the world, and you can conveniently teleport. So we're not going to see any... Oh, okay, I can actually show off this little minigame. So before you're able to extract DNA from an animal, you have to first match its DNA. And it's really basic. Green and yellow go together, blue and red go together. I forget what the different alleles, I've only learned it in German, are called. Alleles?
Alleles.
I forgot what the different alleles are called, but it's just like real life. So I got this giant, what was it, a giant squid, I believe? You know what? Giant squid's gonna die. Alright, Gib. Okay. So now that I have this giant squid DNA, I find out that... What?
Question.
What's up?
Why does it look like Kingdom?
Oh!
Doesn't it look exactly like Kingdom?
You're right, it does, yes. It does look exactly like Kingdom, including the background.
Yeah.
So, this looks like Kingdom. I knew, yeah, it looked very familiar.
It looks exactly like Kingdom,
It looks
why.
exactly like Kingdom, that's why. So I just found out that I killed this giant squid for no reason because I don't need to evolve it any further. Now, the ultimate goal of the game is a secret, but, you know, you'll figure it out if you decide to play this game. And it involves getting to the end of all of these DNA strands. I forgot I got an alpaca. It's so hideous. So ugly. Okay. And yeah, that's that's about it. You go back into the lab and you combine, let's combine a turtle with the mythical gene, which is a thing. And, oh my god, it worked! And that's exactly why I kept playing this game. Oh, geez, it's hideous. A black tortoise. All right. And that's exactly why I kept playing this game, because when you get the combination right, it's actually really satisfying to play. Let's see if this works. Nope. Okay, let's try something else. Obviously, you're going to have to be careful not to waste too much DNA on frivolous nonsense. What happens if you combine a lizard and a bird? Nothing. And that is the entire game. So, in order to complete the game, I have to get 10 specific DNA samples. And it will unlock some great secret mystery. But I honestly got really bored of this game, which is a shame because I like the presentation. I like the core premise of turning DNA into new animals. Let's see. Do I still have raptor DNA left? I wanna do a Hail Mary on the raptors. Okay, I have one raptor DNA left. And I'm gonna turn it mythical. That was a terrible idea. Why did I do that? Oh no, that didn't work. Okay. So, that seems kind of cute, and the game is kind of cute. It's pretty relaxing, if not a little boring after a while. You get up, you get up. Well, you get out of the bunker, you run around for a bit, you collect things, you collect animal DNA, you collect all of the natural energy, and then you move back underground with the fast travel. And you try again. You try something else. You take a fox and you slap more mammal into it. That didn't work. You take a fox and you ancientify it. Nope, that already failed. So that's a nice feature at least. You don't have to write down all the failed combinations. Which... yeah, I mean, makes sense that they wouldn't force you to do that. So if I slapped amphibian DNA into it, do I get an otter? No. So there's this weird half science, half complete nonsense going on with this game. Like, I'm pretty sure crocodiles and raptors aren't actually related. I don't think they are. You can get mice to boar, to deer, to alpaca, and that probably kind of makes sense somewhere. But then chrysalis to butterfly to who knows what. Okay, let's try one more thing. Do I have butterfly DNA? I do. Butterfly and mystical. Let's see if I can get like a moonlight butterfly out of this. Nope. Okay. Butterfly and ancient. The whole ancient gene is the weirdest thing about the game because it implies that you can evolve things backwards by adding more genes. It's kind of crazy. And yeah, so why did I stop playing this game if I find it charming and kind of relaxing? The reason for that is that you may have seen that I ran out of raptor DNA. So in order to get more raptor DNA, I have to hopefully still have some frog DNA, then evolve that to lizard, then go outside, kill the lizard, get the lizard DNA to get crocodiles, go outside, kill the crocodiles, and then create raptors, and then go outside and kill those. Well, okay, I happen to have one raptor alive still in the desert. And you have to do that every time you run out of a gene. You can't print genes that you've already created. You can't just clone animals for like a pretty high energy cost. Honestly, if they added that feature that if you walked up to your print gene machine and it just said print full genome, and then you can just go around and select raptor, and then it would just print you a new raptor for you to, extract DNA from. Cough, cough. However you do that, now that I think about it. And then you can go back to the incubator, but that's not how it works. It's exponential busy work, and there's nothing really keeping you going. It's a shame, really, because the game had potential just based on the experimentation gameplay mechanic, where if you're familiar enough with evolution to know that, the first amphibians ended up evolving into mammals, then great, that'll help you take some shortcuts without having to experiment nearly as much. That being said, there's still so much trial and error involved that you're likely to just waste all of your resources on failed experiments that don't lead anywhere, and then you just have to start over and create the animal, go outside, slaughter it, get the DNA, and print new animals, slaughter those, and then you have to do that every time you run out of DNA for a higher level animal. And the fact that if I wanted to figure out how alpacas work and like what they can evolve into or what foxes can evolve into, but it involves going all the way down the evolution tree should I run out of any of these animals, it's just too much for me. I just couldn't enjoy it any further than that. So in conclusion, Rolled for Two is cute. I don't know if it's going to go anywhere. The writing isn't necessarily amazing. I don't expect any shocking last-minute revelations to change how you perceive the entirety of the gameplay experience or anything. And yeah, if you find experimenting with DNA a compelling premise, then sure, you might have fun with this game. But ultimately, beyond it being a curiosity, I can't really recommend it. Which is a shame. But, you know, maybe their next game will be different. Maybe it'll have gameplay in it. That would be great. So, thank you very much for watching. And make sure you feed those algorithms. You know what to do. Tell me what your favorite animal is and why. And tell me why it's the hippo. Because the hippo is the most powerful animal on the planet. And you know exactly why. And I don't even have to explain it. What the hell are you looking at? Oh. Why would you show me that in the middle of a recording session?
I wanted to see what would happen. It's not the middle, you were doing your sign out.
Yeah, but my sign outs are very long. It's going to be like a 15-minute sign out. No, of course not. Listen to Icelandic music. It's weird. And yeah, hope you have a wonderful day. Goodbye.
Bye, gamers. Like, it looked exactly like...
It looked exactly like Kingdom.
Like Kingdom, yeah.
Totally.